Hi everyone, it's me Leslie here with another video. Today I want to make a video about why I quit drinking alcohol. The truth is it's actually a really long story, but I'm going to make it a lot shorter. So I first started drinking when I was around 18. I had a fake ID from a friend, and I mean, it's just gone from there. In the US, I think it's pretty common for people to say, if you drink, it's pretty common to have a beer with your meal or wine with your meal, or when you go out to, say, a restaurant or bar, have a few alcoholic beverages, or if you're at home watching the game on the weekend, have a beer. So I think drinking is pretty much intertwined with our culture. So I was no exception to the rule. Uh, anyway, why I quit drinking. So I can't really go into why I quit drinking without giving a little backstory about how I started. Like I said, I really started drinking when I was around 18. My friend gave me a fake ID. I went to clubs and, would get some drinks on occasion. And so my drinking just went from there. I used to love to go out to the clubs and stuff like that, and party and dance. And anyway, when I was around 28, 29, drinking became less fun. Like, it became less of, oh, I'm going to the club and I'm going to get drunk with my friends. It became less of going to the club and getting drunk with my friends, and more of, I'm not happy, I'm going to use this to help me cope. So it went from some kind of frivolous, stupid reason for drinking to actually helping me cope, or me thinking I was being helped cope with certain situations. So my ex and I, we had broken up, and I used alcohol to help me go to sleep at night. And if anyone out there listening to this has ever used alcohol to try to cope with something, or kind of just pass out from like a horrible day or something like that, or at least from my experience, you don't really have a good sleep. It's more like a few hours of zonking out and then waking up, say, hungover or kind of, woozy, and you don't feel rested at all. So anyway, after my bad breakup, I was using it to cope between the ages of like 28 and 29, between the ages of 28 and 30. I was kind of using alcohol as a means to cope. The relationship was okay, but the breakup was really bad. And I really wanted to be in a healthy relationship. I really wanted to get married and start having a family at that age, and it just wasn't happening at the time. And so I turned to alcohol to help me kind of relieve some stress, relieve some pain, and go to sleep at night. And eventually it became me wanting to just use it to go to sleep, using it to go to sleep and not wake up. So around that time, I used it to try to I didn't even want to wake up after a while, and I was using alcohol also for that. I would wake up with all types of one time I woke up with a big gash on my foot, because I guess I stumbled into like my steps or something like that, after going outside for a smoke, I guess, and coming back, tripping over the steps or something. I had a big gash on my foot, and so I had a couple of injuries that I don't even know how I got after waking up from a drunken stupor. So anyway, if you guys know anything about my blog, I taught ESL for a few years abroad. And around the age of 30, that's when I moved to Indonesia, and everything just changed. It's a different culture there. The people don't really drink. You'll be hard pressed to find an Indonesian that drinks alcohol, or at least, drinks on a, a weekly basis. Somebody who, say, has a drink with their meal, or has a drink when they go out with their friends. Most of them don't do that. I think it's mostly, say, coffee or tea is the beverage of choice when they go out and nonkron, hang out with their friends. Anyway, so when I got there, it was really hard for me to say, drink every night with a meal, or say, drink. It was difficult to find alcohol. Like it's way more difficult to find it there, but it's there. It's just more expensive and harder to get to. So I ended up changing my habits. So I wasn't like drinking with a meal every night or something like that. I was more so, say, hanging out with coworkers on the weekend at the bar. And so one night when I was hanging out at the bar, I got super, super drunk. There was somebody was having a party. Somebody was having a birthday party, and people were literally pouring vodka down my throat. So needless to say, I got very, very drunk that night. And it was the first time I had gotten drunk in another country. And one of the owner's sons dropped me off at my little apartment, and all I remember is waking up on the bathroom floor in a puddle of water, because I guess I threw myself in the shower when I got in, and I woke up in a pool of water. I hadn't turned off the shower. I just kind of passed out in there, and it was like a really sobering time of my life when I woke up from a drunken stupor on the bathroom floor in a pool of water. And so the next day I went to work hungover, and I started to rethink alcohol and what it does and what it was doing to me. And finally I had a friend that I worked with. She decided to quit drinking. She said alcohol didn't serve her in her life. She basically said she has had a lot of negative experiences surrounding alcohol. And thinking back, I know that I too have had several horrible experiences with alcohol involved, that if I hadn't been drinking even a little bit, I would have never even been in that situation. So my really good friend over there in Indonesia, she decided to quit drinking. She said, Leslie, I know we like to hang out and have a beer after work sometimes, but I'm gonna quit. And I think that you should think about quitting too. She said something along those lines. And actually I took her up on that. I was basically just drinking a beer not every night, but most nights after, like, say, work or dinner or something like that, and I'd have a drink. And so I said, you know what, Leslie, go ahead and take 30 days, don't drink. See how you feel. It had been a long time. I'm 37 now, so it had been at least, say, a decade since my first beer. And since then, I don't think I'd taken more than a week or so break without drinking. And so I decided to go ahead and quit drinking for a month, just to see how I felt. And to be honest with you, it wasn't very hard, because, like I said, in Indonesia, it's not difficult to find alcohol, but it's not easy to get your alcohol, and it's a little expensive. So you have to really think about whether you want it or not. And the beer's not very strong. So anyway, I stopped drinking for 30 days. And after the 30 days, I felt okay. I mean, occasionally I wanted a beer, but it was kind of whatever, because I wasn't really drinking too much anymore anyway. So moving to Indonesia kind of slowed down whatever I was doing back in the States. And so after the 30 days, I extended it to 35 days, and then I extended it to 40 days, and I just didn't go back. I started recognizing the changes that were occurring from not drinking. I was waking up feeling refreshed. My skin was looking better. It didn't look dry anymore. Like, it wasn't like dry looking all the time, but my skin looked healthier, and I wasn't dehydrated all the time, or dehydrated, after, say, drinking a beer or something like that. And I was always cognizant of my behaviors. Like, I was always fully present with my behaviors. I had nothing to apologize for that I didn't remember that I did the day before or something like that. I had nothing to apologize for. I had nothing I had to remember. When I would go out, I wouldn't have to worry about saying or doing something stupid that I normally wouldn't do. I wasn't spending extra money on alcoholic beverages. I was just basically drinking healthy things like water and vegetable juice or an occasional fruit juice. I mean, I was feeling good. Like I said, I stopped drinking when I was around 30, I think it was 31, that I completely had stopped drinking. And I'm 37 now, so it's been about 6 years. And like I said, I feel great. I'm not looking back. Most of the experiences that I had with drinking, I mean, sometimes I had fun. I went to clubs. I had a drink with my meal, whatever. I don't regret not drinking. I feel healthy. I feel good. I don't wake up wondering, what did I do last night? What did I say last night? I don't think about, oh my God, I had, say, 600 calories worth of drinks, or whatever's calorie content is in these beers. Oh, I had all these drinks, now I got to go make up for it at the gym. I don't have to do that anymore. I'm not spending extra money buying booze anymore. I feel good. And I think the greatest, the greatest thing that has come from me not drinking anymore has been, well, there are a lot of pluses that I've taken away, but the greatest thing is that I can hold myself fully accountable for my actions. And I no longer use it as a crutch for any of my inner turmoil. I take full responsibility for any pain that I am feeling. So when I'm sad, I sit with my sadness and self-reflect and work it out. When I'm tired, I just meditate and go to sleep. I mean, when I have a problem, I don't drink it away. I actually work through it. Of course, sometimes I think about having a drink. Do I want to go back to drinking? Do I want to have a beer with my meal? Do I want to go out and in a social setting have a drink? Or New Year's comes, have a champagne? No, maybe I think about, will I ever do it again? But at this point, no, I don't want to do it again. I like the benefits I'm getting from not drinking. I mean, my skin, it's healthy. I don't feel dehydrated I feel like I don't want to do that to my liver. Like, I love my body now, and I don't want to negatively impact my body with drinking. I personally don't think there are any benefits to drinking. I mean, perhaps, say, if you have one glass of something, perhaps it de-stresses you. Or at least we say that it de-stresses us. But actually, when I would do that, I didn't feel de-stressed. I felt a little dehydrated, and then I couldn't really go to sleep at night because of the sugar content. So I don't really agree with the health benefits that the doctors claim that you get from drinking. That's just my opinion, and I have, and that's just how I feel, and this is the conclusion that I've come to after 6 years of not drinking. But anyway, so I think that that's about it. That's all that I wanted to say. I mean, of course, I've got other stories that I could tell about why I quit drinking, or, you know, of course, there were some fun times, but the good of not drinking anymore definitely outweighs, you know, everything else. And sometimes in social settings, is it hard to not drink? For me, not anymore. I mean, there are so many other delicious things to drink. Anyway, thank you all for watching this video, and until next time, bye.